Can you please bring up this verse from the Chaitanya Charitamrita? Here, 19, Madhya 19, 151.
19.
Welcome everyone to ISKCON of Silicon Valley. This branch is one of thousands around the world that were established by our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. They aim to create an environment in which people could come and grow spiritually. One of the main tenets of Krishna consciousness, the practice of Krishna consciousness, is encapsulated in a verse from a book called the Brahma Sutras or the Vedanta Sutras. And it says, Anavriti Shabdat. And that means that by sound, one can become liberated. As Radhika Raman Prabhu mentioned today, from the philosophy of Sankhya, in analyzing various qualities, as well as enumerating them, of the material world, that is, the various energies, we find that sound is the most subtle of all the energies. And therefore, it is especially effective in purifying the intellect, as well as the mind, what to speak of our senses. And it's through the process of purification that our original nature is revealed. The founder of the modern day Krishna consciousness movement was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who taught from the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, but gave a practice that would be accessible to everyone, especially the chanting of the names of God, as not only a remedy for the anomalies that beset us here in the material world, including anxiety and fear, but also for achieving not only self-realization, but also reestablishing our relationship with Krishna, who's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a master teacher. He taught by example. In fact, this is mentioned in this book I have before me, the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's mentioned that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna, but he comes to show by example how to perform devotional service, especially as Krishna had taught it in the Bhagavad Gita. For instance, in the Bhagavad Gita, everyone here knows, Krishna says in the 18th chapter, surrender unto me, I'll deliver you from all of your previous karmas that bind you to the material world. However, since he said that, hardly anybody took up his advice. And that's because many people had no idea what it meant to surrender. How, in the midst of our busy lives and various entanglements, including habits and responsibilities, would somebody surrender? In fact, many people interpreted that as something unreasonable or impossible. For the word surrender is intimidating in and of itself. We hear about surrendering your passport, and then you think of being curtailed in all your activities, won't be able to travel. And it seems to be a dangerous thing to do, a risk. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's an incarnation of Krishna, but who appears as a devotee, teaches by his example what it means to give one's life to Krishna, to God, very practically. And he showed that it doesn't mean to artificially renounce those things that we're used to. Rather, he showed that it means how to use everything in service to Krishna. Devotees around the world of Krishna and Lord Chaitanya hardly starve. That is, they don't starve. Some people think surrender means eat a small quantity of rice every few days. The rest of the time, sustain yourself by breath. However, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed the joy of cooking for Krishna, offering various kinds of vegetables and fruits and tantalizing preparations. And afterwards, what he called honoring the remnants, the prasad that was offered to God. What's more, he had many followers, direct disciples even, who worked in the world. And he didn't recommend that they give up work, except in some cases. But he showed how to work and at the same time take time to chant the names of God and think of whatever work you're doing as your duty, and then offer some of the results of your work to Krishna. And that way, even while working, one would be engaged in a process that is purifying. In his teachings, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said that it's important to associate with pure devotees. A pure devotee is someone who has no other objective in life except to serve Krishna. Of course, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives hints about the great benefit of living in this consciousness. He says in the Gita, chapter number 5, Bhoktaram yat yatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suridam sarvabhutanam gyatva shantim richati. Which means that when one lives for service to Krishna, then one becomes peaceful. When one has an awareness that whatever I have is by the grace of Krishna, and therefore sees everything as paraphernalia to be used in Krishna's service. What's more, the person's very much aware that Krishna is also within his or her heart. As Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita says, I'm the one who's giving you intelligence from within your own heart. He mentions in several places that he gives a special direction to those who sincerely want to understand him. He also says that he travels with us. Travels where? Well, we're all travelers here because although we may have a particular body at this time, it's 100% certain, there's 100% certainty. I'll say it again, active voice. We can have 100% certainty that at some point in the future, undetermined future, we'll switch places and we may not have this same body. We definitely won't, 100%. But Krishna says, I'll go with you. I do go with you to each new body that you inhabit. And in that sense, we're travelers. So, Krishna consciousness is something that's at hand. It's easily accessible to anyone. It doesn't require extreme measures. It requires very natural adjustments to one's life. Natural in the sense that working only to acquire material comfort is futile. You may have noticed whatever promise of satisfaction or material comfort one has been given is elusive. It's like a mirage. It's always receding. It's always in the future a promise that it might be there. However, in our natural consciousness, which is to think I am a servant of God, we immediately feel happy. You may find at a temple like this, you will find a kitchen, and you may find someone there around the time of the Sunday program washing pots. And you may ask, what is your profession? And they'll say, well, I have a PhD in astrophysics. I said, what are you doing washing pots? It feels so good to be here washing pots. And to be absorbed in manual labor means using your hands. It satisfies the heart. And Krishna mentions how when one uses one's senses in his service, they become purified. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, a great devotee of Krishna, has sung in Bengali language that when you think of yourself as a servant of Krishna, then you won't feel any misery in your life. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted everyone to be happy by taking a simple process and learning how to apply it at home or at work. And he followed the lead of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is arguably the most important book on the teachings of self-realization and Krishna consciousness, which points out that when you take a little service to Krishna, then you naturally get knowledge, and you naturally feel better about your relationship with the world, in the sense that you're not so attached to it anymore, because you don't see it as yours, you see it as Krishna's. Much of our anxiety comes from our so-called ownership. We do have propriety over certain things, but only for a while. So Krishna consciousness, a minor shift, brings us to a sense of being properly positioned. And as it turns out, our natural condition is to be joyful. And therefore, one of the immediate results of adjusting one's life to the practice, or more the perspective of being a servant of God, is that one becomes happy. It doesn't require a raise, although we're not against that. It doesn't require transferring oneself to another geographical location, although who wouldn't want to live in Northern California? In any situation of life, as is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam, a person who thinks, my main objective in life is to serve Krishna, is always happy. In fact, the extremes mentioned there is that person could be in heaven or in hell. And is still happy, because the objective isn't to find material comfort. Although, for one who's Krishna conscious, comforts are naturally available. In the Gita, Krishna says that if somebody devotes their consciousness to me, which is an exercise of our free will, we decide, I'm going to use my consciousness, point my attention towards Krishna instead of to my own limited context in life, then it's quite natural that one will be taken care of. In fact, one will live in abundance. It seems counterintuitive because there's a great struggle going on in the world to try to catch up to the scarcity, or try to make up for the scarcity of the limited resources here, no matter how much we get. And you can test yourself on this by looking at your retirement account. And then noticing when you close your page, after you've viewed the number, that you wish there were a few more zeros on there somewhere. And it doesn't matter if you already have 6 zeros there. You still want it to be a bigger number. And that happens even with, what would it be, 7 zeros? Well, what do we need to get to 1 billion? How many zeros? 9 zeros? Even 9 zeros. 9 zeroed people still think the number should be bigger. As there's no saturation point in the material world, or in consideration of my relationship with the material world and how to become well situated here, that completely satisfies the self. And therefore, the Srimad Bhagavatam says, and the conclusion of the sages at Naimisharanya, given by Sutta Goswami, is that only by uninterrupted, unmotivated service to God does one feel happy. Simple formula. So Prabhupada started this organization to give this context and support for anyone who wanted to try to make that shift. It just takes a little shift. Instead of thinking, I'll be happy when I get to 6 zeros or 9 zeros. A billion's the new million. Millionaires are nothing nowadays. We never even talk about them. He's only a millionaire, small timer. We become truly happy by our dedication to Krishna, service to Krishna, devotion to Krishna. So therefore it's called the International Society for, wait for it, Krishna consciousness. And I had mentioned from the Bhagavad Gita how Krishna says, when you become conscious of me, and I didn't quite finish the thought. I'll quote the verse. Ananyas chintayantamam ye jana paripasate tesham nityabdhyuktanam yogakshemam bahamyaham. He says, for those who dedicate their consciousness to me, I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. Good luck getting that from an insurance company. You may not even be able to get insurance in California pretty soon. Health or otherwise, definitely not fire. But Krishna gives assurance, I'll take care of you. Don't worry. And in the verse I first started with, Sarvadharman Prityaja Mamekam Sharanam Raja Aham Tvang Sarvapapi Vyomokshai Shami Masucha. What do the last two words say? Don't worry. Anybody here worried about anything? Okay, 1, 2, 3. That's all we do as humans. It's the human condition. What if? What do they think of me? Did I wear the right color? That's the biggest thing. And what to speak of what will become of me? What will become of my loved ones? It's an ocean of worry. So we could take refuge in Krishna. Where else would you go? We need supreme shelter. We need supreme power who can protect us, who will kindly inform us of what to do and what not to do if we only inquire submissively. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, a master teacher, had highly qualified disciples. Some of them were prime ministers, ministers of finance, who dropped what they were doing to come join him. Others were academics, the like of which the world has not seen since, like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who gave himself to the movement and teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Ramananda Roy, who was a governor. And in his teaching method, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu liked to use metaphor. And one of the metaphors, he talks about being a gardener, which is a beautiful metaphor because gardening is miraculous. When you think about a lemon seed, if you do think about a lemon seed, I think about them a lot, but more likely limes, because I like limes better than lemons. I don't think there's any more beautiful fruit on the planet, just the color of it. I mean, don't get me started. But imagine when you open a lime. You ever think about what a seed is inside? A lime seed falls out. Well, if you wrap that in a wet cloth and keep it maybe with some aluminum foil around the wet cloth for a week in a warm enough place, then you open it up, you'll find roots coming out. And then if you get a little cup with some soil in it and you put the roots in the cup and cut a plastic bottle in half and then put it on top so it stays warm, it's incubating. then it'll grow little leaves. Then you can take it and put it in a bigger pot or in the ground. And soon you'll have a tree. And the tree will have more limes. Did you ever think about this? That's a miracle. From one little seed, you get another lime tree that will give you thousands, tens of thousands of more seeds. What to speak of the fruits. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would like to use the gardening metaphor. And he talks about how spiritual practice is gardening, that we should become gardeners. Here's how the metaphor works. He talks about how our heart can become a fertile place for the planting of a seed called the bhakti seed. And he said, you get that from somebody who has love for Krishna in their heart. Have you ever noticed how when you associate with someone, you pick up their qualities? My friend Satyadev used to have a nickname called Butter Dave because he likes butter so much. And I traveled with him in Japan for some time, and everywhere we went, he ate butter. I mean, not just butter, but he ate a lot of butter. I hardly ever eat butter, except for after I came home and I asked my wife for some butter. She said, "What's going on here?" It's palpable that when we associate with others, we develop their qualities. It's something Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Purusha prakriti stohi bhunte prakriti jan gunan. Karanam guna sangosya sarasad yoni janmasu. He said, whatever good or bad you have in your heart, you got that from another person who had it in their heart. You picked it up from them. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu describing how the little seed of bhakti comes to us is that if you meet somebody who has pure devotion for Krishna in his or her heart, then you may notice that desire for Krishna awakens in your heart. I'm looking around, and because she's not here, I'm going to tell about an interview that one of our devotees was part of. Janavi, I think she went to get her Grammy Award somewhere. We hope she gets it. But she gave in an interview a very open-hearted explanation of how the seed of bhakti awakened in her heart, that she had grown up in a Krishna conscious family, and as a young woman, actually even before that, she was barely an adolescent. I think she was around 14. Does that qualify? Adolescent? Better ask ChatGPT. Her parents had taken her to visit a venerable devotee, Jamuna Devi. You know, the one who wrote the cookbook? It's this big. And who was a very soft-hearted and staunch devotee of Srila Prabhupada, one of the first joiners in our movement. She wrote about her experiences. She also wrote a cookbook, or others wrote about her, I think. And she went to her house, that is, Janavi and her family, and they stayed for several days. And she describes how when she walked out, got in the family car and they were driving away, she thought, I want to be deeply devoted Vaishnavi, because of associating with Dinatarni and Jamuna. It was palpable. So there's a way in which, by association with a devotee who has already decided, I'm going to surrender to Krishna, by such association, we also can pick up that impetus. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, this is the way we get the seed of bhakti in our heart, by association with a pure devotee. So he spoke several poetical verses, and we'll try singing them now. Starting at Madhya Lila, the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the sponsor of our program tonight, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. If you don't have one, please see me afterwards. We'll make sure you get it. That is at 19,151. And I'll sing the verse in Bengali, and then you can respond by chanting Hare Krishna in the same tune. Brahmanda Brahmate Kon Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. According to their karma, all living entities are wandering throughout the entire universe. Some of them are being elevated to the upper planetary systems, and some are going down into the lower planetary systems. Out of many millions of wandering living entities, one who is very fortunate gets an opportunity to associate with the bona fide spiritual master by the grace of Krishna. By the mercy of both Krishna and the spiritual master, such a person receives the seed of the creeper of devotional service. Malihai karishe bija aropan shravanadi tanjali kare shichan Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. When a person receives the seed of devotional service, he should take care of it by becoming a gardener and sowing the seed in his heart. If he waters the seed gradually by the process of Shravana, Kirtana, hearing and chanting, the seed will begin to sprout. Upajiya Badelata Brahmandanda Veda Jai Viraja Brahmaloka Vedi Paravyoma Pai Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. As one waters the Bhakti Lata Bij, the seed sprouts and the creeper gradually grows to the point where it penetrates the walls of this universe and goes beyond the Viraja river, lying between the spiritual world and the material world. It attains Brahma Lok, the Brahman effulgence, and penetrating through that stratum, it reaches the spiritual sky and the spiritual planet, Goloka Vrindavan. Tabi Jai Tarupadi Goloka Vrindavan Krishna Charana Kalpa Vriksha Kari Arohana Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram situated in one's heart and being watered by Shravanam Kirtanam, the bhakti creeper grows more and more. In this way it attains the shelter of the desire tree of the lotus feet of Krishna, who is eternally situated in the planet known as Goloka Vrindavan, in the topmost region of the spiritual sky. Tahan vistaritohai pale prema pa ihan male sheche nitya shravanarija. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. The creeper greatly expands in the Goloka Vrindavan planet, and there it produces the fruits of love for Krishna. Although remaining in the material world, the gardener regularly sprinkles the creeper with the water of hearing and chanting. Jadi Vaishnava Parada Uti Hati Mata Upareva Chindita Shiki Jai Bata. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. If the devotee commits an offense at the feet of a Vaishnava while cultivating the creeper of devotional service in the material world, his offense is compared to a mad elephant that uproots the creeper and breaks it. In this way, the leaves of the creeper are dried up. Tate male jatna kari kari abarana aparada hasira jaiche na hoy udgama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The gardener must defend the creeper by fencing it all around, so that the powerful elephant of offenses may not enter. Kintu jadi latar shange ute upashaka bhuti mukti vansha jata asankya taraleka. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Sometimes unwanted creepers, such as the creepers of desires for material enjoyment and liberation from the material world, grow along with the creeper of devotional service. The varieties of such unwanted creepers are unlimited. Nistitachara kutinati jiva hamsana labha puja pratishtari jata utkana. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Some unnecessary creepers growing with the bhakti creeper are the creepers of behavior unacceptable for those trying to attain perfection. Diplomatic behavior, animal killing, mundane profiteering, mundane adoration, and mundane importance. All these are unwanted creepers. Shekaja paya upashaka badijaya stava hoy mula shaka paditena paya. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. If one does not distinguish between the Bhakti Lata creeper and the other creepers, the sprinkling of water is misused, because the other creepers are nourished while the Bhakti Lata creeper is curtailed. Pratame upashakar kare chedan Abhimul Shakabadi Jaya Vrindavan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare. As soon as an intelligent devotee sees an unwanted creeper growing beside the original creeper, he must cut it down instantly. Then the real creeper, the Bhakti Lata, grows nicely, returns home back to Godhead, and seeks shelter under the lotus feet of Krishna. Prema pal paki pade mali avastaya lata avalambi mali pavriksha paya. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare. When the fruit of devotional service becomes ripe and falls down, the gardener tastes the fruit and thus takes advantage of the creeper and reaches the desired tree of the lotus feet of Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan. Tahanche kopa vriksha kare sevan shuke prema pada rase karasvadan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. There the devotee serves the lotus feet of the Lord, which are compared to a wish-fulfilling tree with great bliss. He tastes the juice of the fruit of love and becomes eternally happy. Aite parama pal parama Purushartha jar age dinna tirya chari Purushartha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. To taste the fruit of devotional service in Goloka Vrindavan is the highest perfection of life. And in the presence of such perfection, the four material perfections, religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation, are very insignificant achievements. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, I mentioned earlier, is a pure devotee of Krishna. And he brought to light the teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, which was hard to find at that time. We may take for granted that we can go on Amazon, which started off as a bookseller only. In fact, before that, remember, anybody old enough here to remember you had to go to a bookstore? Sorry if I traumatize anybody by mentioning that. If you keep backing up in time, you'll find that books were rare. In fact, at one point, they were all written by hand. And manuscripts became more and more valuable. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur had access to some of the manuscripts, teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he didn't have the whole Chaitanya Charitamrita. And he, as a wealthy, highly educated, highly connected person, he was a high court judge. had reached out in many directions to intellectuals everywhere to try to find the complete manuscript. It was hard put to find it for many, many months until he got access to it. It contains the consolidated teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Bhagavatam, and those presented by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which are the very same. They're the conclusion of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. And the founder of our organization is famous all over the world. A.B. Josh Gushik Tribhuvan. It's mentioned that he's famous all over the three worlds. And one of the things he's famous for is bringing this book, the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, to the entire world. Now it's been translated in many languages. Nihongo? Wakarimasu ka? If you speak Japanese, if you speak Mandarin, we have it for you. French, German. There are many, many languages in now. And the founder of our organization had translated it and given commentary to it with great urgency. He didn't know how long he would live. He had already had several heart attacks. And he was eager to make it available to the world. And he was successful in doing that within a short amount of time. The reviews that came in from scholars all over the world were full of accolades for not only his translations, but his purports and also his ability to bring it out so expertly and quickly to the world. So we read this book regularly. We also distribute it in many languages around the world. And I highly recommend the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's not very expensive. It's well, there's no minimum, but there's no maximum that you can give for it. But it's around $100 only for 9 volumes. And this next month, we're going to be going all over Silicon Valley and distributing the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. We just started recently, making it available to homes, businesses, anybody around the world. So if you know somebody who needs the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, you can talk to me or Adriraj afterwards. You can recognize him because he's got the whitest kurta on the planet. And you'll be able to spot him anywhere. You can take the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita home, or you can give it as a gift to somebody. And it has such poetry in it throughout that it'll make your head spin. But it's a companion for those who pine for a better life, who want commonsensical teachings in their life, not the madness that we hear nowadays, the randomness, the unpredictability of what people may say or do. You can find solace in the teachings of the greatest scholars, thinkers, and pure devotees who have contributed to this Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, so I highly recommend it. And speaking of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he wrote hundreds of songs, thousands in fact. And there is an archive in Kolkata where you can go and see the handwritten versions of these, as well as handwritten, and some of them are written on palm leaves. It was done with a stylus. At a certain point, we put the stylus on the leaf itself, and afterwards exposed the leaf to the sun. You can imagine the arduous process of making a book. Then the place that had been impressed with the stylus turns dark, and that's what makes the letters. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote songs that were didactic. He wrote many that were meant to evoke emotions for God, and many of his songs were to teach the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. So one of them is a song about how we're all on a journey. The soul moves from one lifetime to the next. And if you live long enough, you notice the arc of your life. When you're young, you think, possibly I may live forever, because what's all the fuss about? It's hard to notice when you're young and strong that there might be an end to it all. In any case, we all do leave the present body and go to another destination. There's a section in the Srimad Bhagavatam which gives the perspective of the soul who's come into a womb. And as it's described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a time at which the baby within the womb becomes conscious of his or her surroundings. So there's always a conscious soul. That's what makes the body grow, according to the Bhagavatam. But there's a time at which that personality, who's in a new body, brand new, never been had before, it's newly created by material nature just to accommodate the soul, then becomes aware, here I am again. And the conundrum is that I remember that I've been here before, and I may have even thought, let me stop this cycle. But what happens, according to the Srimad Bhagavatam, is when we are forced out of the birth canal into the world, our senses externalize. Every one of our senses has sense objects. In fact, the two are inseparable. That's why you may notice that your senses drag you towards different sense objects, even though you didn't ask them. Have you ever experienced that? Please say yes. When the little baby comes out in a new body, becomes overwhelmed by the new environment, senses externalized, the sense objects embedded in the senses, and vice versa, and is overwhelmed and carried away again by the waves of material nature and the waves of material life. And what to speak of the new set of parents who are there, and what are the first words they say? Kuchi kuchi ku. And so Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives us the voice of Lord Chaitanya, saying to us, how long will you stay in this cycle of birth and death? Again and again, you've taken birth, then you've forgotten what your purpose was. Is it possible to forget about your spiritual practice for one day because everything else is more urgently presenting itself? Is it possible? Is it possible then for a week? Could you get involved in a week? You got to study for exams and you forget everything. Yes, possible? I didn't mean to lead the witness, but if it's possible for a day or a week, then it's possible for a month or a year, and it's possible for a lifetime. And a lifetime of forgetfulness adds up to another situation in the darkness of the material world. This is what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying. So he's saying that Krishna is calling out to us, and he's saying, wake up. Please wake up. If you've ever been in a bad dream and somebody woke you up, didn't you appreciate it? So that's the metaphor for spiritual life. It's an awakening. We already have a reality. We already have a standing somewhere. It's not here in the material world, however, because nobody can stay here. Nobody can keep what they have. And that is what they used to call in the 1960s, right here in San Francisco, a total bummer. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Jeev Jago, Gaura Chandra Bole, that Lord Chaitanya is calling out to everyone saying, please wake up now. Take advantage of this life. Bhuli aruhile tumi abhijara bhare. That he said, how long will you stay in this situation? And he goes on to ask the question, that didn't you promise before that you would come out of this, but now you've forgotten? So now take advantage of this opportunity. And he says, Lord Chaitanya, I've appeared now to help you. I'm reaching my hand. I'm extending it down. Please take it. Let me bring you back to the spiritual world. And then he announces what the medicinal process, the remedy for our ills, our woes. There's a world of weal and woe. And the remedy is the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. It's called aushadhi, medicine. So then he says, if you want this, you have to beg for it. You ready for that? Yes. And then finally he says, I begged and I begged and I begged for this myself. And I've been given the holy name. This is the greatest achievement we can have in this world, is attraction for the name of God, he says. And once you have that, everything else pales in comparison. We don't need anything else. We don't want anything else. So this song, I used to sing, and I still sometimes do, in a very cheery tune. And my godbrother, Havi, who's a Grammy winner, and a musician, obviously, pulled me aside one day and he said, listen, Vaish, that's too cheery for this song. Sing it in another tune. And I said, please tell me, my dear godbrother, which tune you'd like me to sing it in. And this is the tune that brings out this emotion of begging and remembering that this is a dire circumstance in the world, but there's great hope. That is the hope of taking the holy name of Krishna. Everyone can move up. It says right on the sign there, please move forward, we are vegetarian. So you needn't be frightened of attacks. And the song starts with the refrain that says, Jeev Jago. Everyone say Jeev Jago. That means, please wake up, my dear soul. Go to Chandrabole. This is Lord Chaitanya singing and saying this. Please wake up. No, you can be on the Bengali until you're not. Then he said, Kota Nidra Jao Maya Pishachira Kole. You're sleeping in the lap of the witch called Maya. How long will you stay there? Vajibo Bulia Eshe Sangsara Bitare Buliaro Hile Tumi Abhijara Bhari. You made a promise to come out, and now you've forgotten again. Then he says, Tomare lo iteyumi. Next verse. Hoenu avatar. I've come as an avatar. Avatar means one who crosses down from a higher position to help us. Ami bina, other than me, bandhu ara, who's your friend? Keache tomorrow. You may have many friends in this world, but can they help you? No. Eneche ashori maya nashi baralagi. I've brought you the medicine. Now take it. In fact, he says, Magi, Tumi Magi, you beg for this. Bhaktivinoda Prabhu Charane Padiya She Harina Mantra Loilo Magila. I begged for it, he said, and I received the mantra. Jeev Jago, Jeev Jago, Goda Chandra Bole. Your turn. Jeev Jago, Jeev Jago, Goda Chandra Bole. Kota Nidra Jao Maya Chandra Jao Maya Pishachira Kole Jiv Jago Jiv Jago Gora Chandra Bole Jiv Jago Jiv Jago Gora Chandra Bole Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's all you. Rama Rama, Hare Gaura Premanande, Gita Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gita Gaura Hari Bol. It's hard to maintain a practice in this world because we face resistance. The mind is a powerful foe when not disciplined. And who really has taken time to discipline their minds to any degree? And therefore, a context in which we're carried, encouraged, lifted by our association is necessary in order to get consistency in the practice of bhakti yoga, Krishna consciousness, hearing, chanting, remembering Krishna. And that's another reason that our founder Acharya started these centers. And we started this center circa 1998 and a half. And it started in a little house on New Jersey Avenue in San Jose until the neighbors said, hey, wait a minute, you can't run a church in a house in a neighborhood. We said, fair enough. So we moved up the street to a storefront where our deities were on display for everyone who walked by to get a pizza or to fix their computer or get a haircut. And unlike most malls, strip malls, when they walk by, they'd always do a double take and go, wait, what? And look inside and say, who is that? And who's the girl with him? And after we held a Janmashtami or two, the landlord said, I don't think that this is the right place for you guys. So we moved to an unincorporated area in just a little niche area near San Jose or wherever it was, on Bascom Avenue. Unincorporated means there's no laws. And that meant there was no rent control either. So although we were there for 7 years, our very tyrannical landlord, who also lived on the property with us, if you remember, and had various types of businesses that one of them required a pit bull to protect them. And there were various distinguishable smells coming from that place. For those who grew up in the 60s, were very aware of what it was. Enough said. And after that, we moved here on Ram Navami. Which year? 2013. We had a big festival here with famous dancers. We had Bharatanatyam all day long, big festival, installation of the deities. And we've been here ever since. And presently around the Bay Area, we have dozens of meeting places. For instance, in Santa Cruz, we have a place where people who live locally can come and get association and chant Hare Krishna. In Livermore area, we have a place. Who wants to give a shout out for their place? What else do we have? Bhakti SF. We're in downtown San Francisco, where Hare Krishna started in the first place here in the Bay Area. It's in the mission area. It's where it originally started. Well, one of the temples. I joined there. San Jose, there's the mantra room. There's a mantra room. There's also in Palo Alto, we have the mantra zone. We had a meeting not so long ago of many of the leaders who are helping to keep these centers open, and it was a full house. Each one gave a short presentation, and it lasted us for hours and hours and hours, seeing each one of the presentations, how many people were coming. In the Bay Area, people are better off than most places because the weather is nice. Generally speaking, the state government is a little civil-minded. Yeah, even the indigenous peoples had it better here in California than in many other places. Think about it. If you didn't have that much shelter, you probably wouldn't want to be someplace like Iowa. In any case, people are still wanting for something, and that's association. And that's one of the elements that's vital to keep steady in a practice and get enough momentum so you can be lifted above the psychological anomalies of this world, which are raga, bhaya, krodha, attachment, irrational attachment to temporary things, bhaya, fear of death, fear of your personal existence, fear of a relationship with God, and krodha, anger, which means cynicism, or intellectual despair because you can't find how all the various philosophies of the world fit together, and therefore you just throw up your hands and say, it's all nonsense. That can be remedied by reading Bhagavad Gita and the association of devotees. So that's why we have them all over the Bay Area. It's not just the Bay Area. This morning, 6 o'clock a.m., 6:15, I had a call with about 70 leaders in South America. And they span from top to bottom in South America, and they have robust centers there where they're chanting. Not too long before that, we had meetings with devotees in, what do you call it? Oceania, which included Australia and New Zealand. With Bangladesh gets in on that for some reason. And then we have Taiwan, Hong Kong, China, Japan, Malaysia. Where else? Fiji, our leading indicator. We've named it, as Fiji goes, so does the rest of the world. It's our leading indicator country for how we'll do in the world. And they're doing great. People are glad to know. And the day after, in the morning, we had a meeting with the rest of the world. Because Oceania, Huh? Oceania. Well, time zone doesn't match with everybody else, so then we talk to leaders from all over America and Europe and India. And there are thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands. Oceania, thank you. Oceania. So it's not a small movement, it's a big movement with a big ambition, which is every town and village, which means we're translating all of the books into the languages, starting with the ones that we can afford to do and print and get out to people. And the idea is that there are many good causes in the world, but there's only one great cause, and that is to give a lift to the soul, to help him or herself to come out of the darkness of the material world. Otherwise, if you randomly watch no less than 1 million YouTube videos on how to do better in life, you'll eventually end up in the same place because of the force of resistance in the material world and in the undisciplined mind. But if you take to the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, in the association of devotees, and read Bhagavad Gita every day, then you'll find yourself joyful because you'll feel, for the first time, I have some spiritual integrity. I know I'm good for it. I know I can control my senses and my mind no matter where I am. And that brings a sense of accomplishment above any other in this world. What to speak of the awakening of love for Krishna within the heart. So we highly recommend getting involved in the Hare Krishna movement, getting all the books. This next month, we're advocating for the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's 9 volumes. We have them stacked up in the yard. If you noticed those tents out there, what's inside, they're all books. We ran out of space years ago for the number of books we distribute. In 2025, for those of you who didn't hear last week, we sold $1,250,000 worth of Bhagavad Gitas and Srimad Bhagavatams and Sri Chaitanya Charitamritas right here in the Bay Area. And that's what we call a drop in the bucket. Because we notice that Meta and whoever else is around here are wantonly building all these buildings, which cost $1 million a minute to put up. Nonetheless, we're a grassroots movement, and we invite everybody who wants to feel the joy of Krishna consciousness, come wash a pot, come sweep something, use your hands, show Krishna that you just are a simple, humble, sincere servant, or help out with whatever you can. That's what we're all doing here. Everyone's a volunteer. Nobody gets paid here. Everyone works diligently just to see that this environment is available. Meanwhile, obviously, we have our eyes on other properties around the Bay Area. We've been looking in various places to expand. And we have a school coming. We have an academy that's been here for a couple of decades for children. Any children here grew up in the Vedic Academy? Raise your hand. Now they're either have graduated college or in the midst of it. And at the same time, they're practicing Krishna consciousness. So there's much going on here. Please feel free to join in and do whatever you feel you can do and take advantage of the association. Speaking of which, the next part of our program is the best, in my humble opinion, because it's a Hare Krishna dance party. And I coined a phrase a while back, and one of these days I'll write a book with the same title. Please don't steal it. It's Never Miss a Chance to Dance. And if you can dance, dance, because otherwise sitting around in meetings all day in front of a screen is what they used to say in the 1960s is a complete bummer. But dancing, on the other hand, is something universal. You can put your hands in the air like that. Try it. Don't hit anybody. and your heart opens. And any of the cares that you have in there will just fly away. Let them fly away. Offer to Krishna and say, Krishna, I can't take it anymore. Please save me. And if you dance to the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, you'll feel joy in your heart immediately. And so we're going to stand up, put all the seats away. All the ladies can be on this side, all the men on that side, and then we'll start a kirtan and have an artik ceremony. Thank you very much for coming down today. We'll be here. We're open 24 hours, but not in a row. So you can check our website and see when you can come back. Thank you. Hare Krishna. You think if you move it back, it'll help? We should have some...
Like a sign?
Yeah. Within you, without you. Changed my mind. I changed my mind. Amen Adulaba. Start with Namah. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Gaura Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Ashtottara Shata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Ashtottara Shata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Nandakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Shri Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Ganga Mai Jamuna Mai Ki Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Sai Gaura Premanande.
Namaste Narasingaya Namaste Narasingaya Hito Narsinga Harato Narsimha Yato Yato Yamidato Narsimha Yato Yato Yamidato Narsimha Bahe Narsimha Hridaye Narsimha Bahe Narsimha Hridaye Narsimha Narasimha Madhim Sharanam Prapade Narasimha Madhim Sharanam Prapade Tava Kara Kamala Varenakam Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Keshavadvita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya लक्ष्मी नरसिंहदेव भगवान की, भक्त प्रहलाद महाराज की, शिल प्रभुपाद की, गौर प्रेमानंदे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. It's so wonderful to see such a nice turnout today here. So we'd like to thank you all for coming, especially on a very long weekend and on a very nice weather. So we are fortunate to have you here. So let's thank everyone for coming here and joining us for the Sunday Feast Festival here at ISKCON of Silicon Valley. Hare Krishna. Hare 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 Bol. We'll also like to thank all our online viewers as well. So let's give them a big round of applause. Hare Bol. What an amazing weekend we had here at ISKCON of Silicon Valley. Earlier we had Saturday and the Sunday morning we had 3-part series of seminar, Churning the Ocean of Shastra by His Grace Radhika Raman Prabhu. He was here earlier, yesterday morning, 2 sessions, and today morning as well. So let's thank him for giving us a wonderful seminar on this subject. Hari 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 Bol. Hare Krishna. If you have missed any part of the program or the complete part, please tune in to Facebook or YouTube. It's a very wonderful series of seminar that we had. You can watch whenever you have some time at your leisure. Hare Krishna. Today's discourse and Krishna Katha was brought to us by His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu. So let's express our deep gratitude and thank him for a wonderful discourse tonight. Hari 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 Bo! We'll also like to thank him for leading an ecstatic arti. Hare Krishna. We would like to thank Her Grace Annapaini for leading a Narshinga Arti. Hari 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 Bo. Anyone coming here for the first time? Wow, you have such a lot of devotees who are coming here for the first time. Thank you. We are so fortunate to have you here. If we could be of any assistance or if you have any questions, please reach out to me. My name is Sri Gopal Das, or you can reach out to Priya Kishori. She is somewhere here. We will be happy to assist you in any way we can. Thank you. And let's chant one Mahamantra for all our newcomers here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So what's coming up next is our first event of the year, which is the Harinam Sankirtan at Palo Alto. Is Kirtan Oasis, the first Kirtan Oasis of 2026. So please join us this Friday. I don't remember the date. What is the date this Friday? 23rd. So 23rd starts at 6:59 p.m. at intersection of University and Emerson at the Lytton Plaza. So please join us with your friends, family. We'll have a nice Kirtan. Maharaj is going to be there with all the youth. So it's going to be a wonderful event. Please join us. Hare Krishna. Any other announcements that I'm missing? If not, we will announce the sponsors for tonight. We have one anonymous sponsor for tonight. We'd like to thank the anonymous sponsors for sponsoring tonight's feast. Hare Krishna. And our next sponsor is His Grace Dhira Prashant Prabhu and Her Grace Shirisha Mataji are sponsoring on the occasion of 18th birthday, which is Jan 18th today, right? 18th birthday of their elder daughter, Sindhuja. Haribo! So Sindhuja is not here today, but they would like to sponsor today. We'll call Sindhuja on the stage next week when is she back here at ISV. So Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji and Prabhuji, for sponsoring the feast. Okay, and the next sponsor is a very special sponsor. This is the community of devotees who are the God brothers and God sisters of Her Grace Shraddha Mataji. Is she here? This is Her Grace Shraddha Mataji's birthday today. Please, Hare Krishna. Thank you. Haribol. I don't know what we would do here at ISKCON of Silicon Valley without Her Grace Shraddha Mataji. She is amazing. You know, one word that comes to my mind is consistency and dedication. You know, whenever I see her, she is so dedicated to her spiritual master and to the mission of ISV here at ISKCON of Silicon Valley. So I am so grateful to know her, fortunate. So we are so fortunate to have you here, Mataji. Please come here. Hare Krishna. We wish you a very, very happy birthday, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. And over to you for some advice to us.
Advice. Thank you so much, dear devotees. This came as a complete surprise. And now I know why some of you were asking whether I was coming to the temple today or not. So this is really, it's touched my heart. And thank you so much for all your love and affection. And actually, I draw my inspiration and my energy from all you devotees who are here. So on this occasion, I would seek your blessings so that I can continue to serve all of you. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
I don't know when Shraddha sleeps. Seriously, because I'll get up in the morning and there's messages throughout the night. And then she works during the day. And she's always on top of every detail. And she does it with such grace. We're very fortunate to have her. Thank you, Shraddha. Happy birthday.
Now, we have Gaurika announce the next part of our announcement, and which is going to be cooks for tonight's feast.
Hare Krishna. Today's cooks are going to be Ananda Vrindavan Mataji, Sham Bhakt Prabhu, Sham Karuna Mataji, Tapomoy Prabhu, Shriram Prabhu, Gopi Priya Mataji, Sanjeev Prabhu, Jolly Mataji, Malaye Prabhu, Bhavika Mataji, and Hitesh. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Now we go for Prasad Sevya prayers. Now before that, I would like to just remind you that we are not yet done. We have the last program of this evening, which is going to be the Youth Jam at 7 p.m. This is not public program, so everyone here are invited to attend this program. It's going to be a wonderful program starting at 7 p.m. But if you are having prasad, honoring prasad here in the hall, please vacate the hall by 6:30 p.m. so that we have some time to clean up the hall and get ready for the next part of the program. Hare Krishna, and thank you for considering our request. Hare Krishna. Now, Bhakti Nanushri will, no? Yeah, okay. Will lead us into Prasad Sevya prayers.
Sharira vijaja jo hindriyata hika jive file vishaya sakare karmate jivayati lobo moy sudurmati takhe jita katina samsare Krishna bodha doyamoy kori bhare jivaja swaha prasadana dilo khai Senamrita Radha Krishna Gunaga Premeda Koshi Chaitanya Nita Radhe Govinde Namo Brahmane Vaishnave Sabha Punya Mitam Rajan Vishvasane Vijayate Prasade Sarva Dukhanam Bhaniraso Bhajayate Prasana Cheta Suyashu Bhuti Bhava Pravishyate Kayoka Bhutta Sargandha Vasavankara Chachita Purushasta Bhuji Dasa Stavamayan Jayamahi Shushkam Parushitam Lapi Nitam Madhura Deshata Prapti Matena Bhutayam Natra Kala Vicharana Nadeshaniya Mastatra Nakalaniya Mastata Praptamanandatam Shishir Bhoktavayam Harirabhavir Bhagavad Shima Prashad the key Nitai Gora Haribo 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 Nitai Gora Haribo